Hello there, and welcome to another episode of my survival world. And today, you may notice we're starting off with a different skin, because the absolute legend Don Pebble has made me a Jedi robes version of my wasp skin, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm going to be using this one going forwards. So I really appreciate that, and thank you very much. And another thing he's done is also set up a Discord server for this. So obviously if anyone wants to join that, I'll try and work something out in terms of putting it in the description on my YouTube channel page, or maybe in the description of the video. But for the building today, we are going to be working some more on Jabba's palace from the last episode. And I think to start off, what we're going to do is add in the farm. That way, while I am working on the rest of the build, I should be getting some of the resources, provided it works, because I've had some inconsistency issues with villager crop farms. And the first thing I'm going to need to make these crop farms is access back down here, so I can grab these extra villagers that I had saved. And that's why I saved some of these from before, because I knew that I would be needing them. I think this will be a good spot for me to build the villager breeder. I could go up the stairs, but it's going to be a bit annoying. And I also want to keep them away from the villagers so that they link correctly once I actually move them in. I think, yeah, this spot is going to be good. Apparently, I have loads of villagers here, so you know what? I might just use these guys. No, it's fine. I'll keep these for now. Doesn't hurt to have them spare. Well, that is set up. Now I just need to move in these villagers. And now we play the waiting game for it to be nighttime. Well, I have the villagers in now, not without difficulty. The first guy I was trying to put in, he just did not want to get in the bed, so I just had to remove all of the blocks from on top. And eventually, we got there. They are in place now. So while I wait for that, let's go and start working on the first layer. And obviously the first layer is going to be a wheat farm, because as you know, the wheat can't be collected through villager trading with each other. It has to be done by minecarts underneath. So that'll be the bottom layer, and then I'll put some carrots and potatoes above those. First thing I need to do is work out the height that I want to start from, and also I need to just make sure I leave a bit of a gap around the edge so that we don't have any problems with the minecarts. And I know that my door is going to come up somewhere around here. It's a bit close. I'm going to go up one more just to give myself that extra space. And now I just need to fill out a bunch of this area. I have all the rails in place. It's kind of making this trippy looking lines across it because there's so many. And this is just for the wheat farm. I'm probably going to split it up into a few quadrants for the farmer villagers to help make it speed up a little bit. But now I need to put in the minecart hoppers. And this is going to be quite a lot, so it's probably going to be very loud. Not particularly happy about that idea, but hopefully there's enough that it silences it. So that is 33 rows of rails, which means I need 33 minecart hoppers. Oh my goodness. Luckily, from when I did my trading haul, I have a bunch of these minecarts still made up, because I haven't had a use for them. I had nearly 3 shulker boxes of them, so we'll use some of them. And that's all the minecarts in. And yes, it is quite a lot, and it was probably a bit wasteful. I might have been able to do it with less and had less hoppers down at the ends, but I like to just have enough to make sure that we're not getting any backing up in the system, and to make sure the items are picked up quick enough, especially with a large area like this. And now I need to fill in all of the dirt. Alright, so I've gone ahead and separated this out into 9 squares, and some of them are a little bit smaller, but still I think this is a decent size for one villager. The middle one might be a little bit too big, and maybe these side ones here, but I think it would do for now. And I really don't want to put more than 9 villagers into the wheat farm. I would have rather had less, but I don't know if they'll actually go around and farm the whole thing. So let's just do this and see how it turns out. Well, unfortunately now I need a ton of seeds. So I'm going to come and harvest this, but I'm just going to check how many I actually have in my boxes. Because realistically, for 9 villagers, I need 8 stacks for each. That's like 72 stacks. That's 3 shulker boxes. Plus, I need half a shulker box for the actual farm, so basically I need 4 shulker boxes of seeds. And I have one here. And none of this is going to be enough. Okay, they can stay there. So I need another 3 shulker boxes. I really should have left the seeds in the moss farm. That would have been useful, wouldn't it? The only thing I was burning. Brilliant. I cannot wait to not have to do this again. Oh my goodness. Making all of this stuff. I used a lot of the mud bricks on this building, on this building, on this building. Oh, I had to keep coming and doing this, and it was really annoying. So I have set up a quick temporary storage in here, and you can see I've started getting some of these hay bales in now. There is an auto crafter up here for the hay bales, and then all the seeds extra come into this one, and then after that it will get burned in lava. And as obviously you can tell, there is some villagers already set up, but I haven't done all of them because this is quite a slow process. And I did kill the first one because I sent him in a minecart, and he got picked up by the tracks under here and then got suffocated in the dirt blocks. So that didn't really work out. And I also had to add in these trapdoors around the composters, because even though the farms that I see online, they say to use the composter with the block on top, the villagers can still use the composter. So by putting the trapdoors around, they can't use it. And you can see now I've got the back 3 in, so I've got 6 more to go. And then I'll do the 2 sides, then the middle, then the 2 sides, then the last middle. And other than that, everything is now working. So I'm very happy. It's coming along. Let me get the last villagers in, and then I will leave this. And hopefully I can finish these guys before I go to bed tonight. But at least now I have 3 of those in. So if I want to leave this AFK to build up some hay, I can. No, 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 not today. Do not interfere with my villagers. Oh, I'm gonna... Oh, I've made a mistake here. I've made a mistake. That was the wrong place to be doing this. I nearly just sweeping edged my villagers. And no heads, because he died to the fire. Brilliant. And this is the last villager for the wheat farm. And as usual, they break the one when they go in. And we just fix that up and break all of this down. And that is it, done. So I think now I'm going to leave this AFK overnight before I come back and finish off the carrot farm. But let's just check and see how many I got just while I was doing that. Okay, yeah, so, you know, just as a starting point, in 20 minutes or so, I've got essentially 9 stacks of hay, which is very, very useful. And yeah, I don't have to mine this anymore and plant it myself. They're going to do all the work for me. And I thought this was perfect for Jabba's palace. It's just the right type of farm. I think I'm going to leave this one here because I'm going to need to go higher with the villagers. Probably fit in 1 potato farm with like 4 squares and then 2 carrot farms with 4 squares. Those are a lot simpler to do just because you don't need the minecarts, and also you don't need to like pre-fill them with too much. You can just give them a couple of stacks of carrots. You probably don't even need to give them like more than that, to be honest. But these guys, you have to give them 8 stacks of seeds. I also have this weird patch here which seems to be now empty. This one, there was some seeds on it, but it wasn't growing. I don't really know what was happening with that. Okay, I've been AFK for quite a while now, so let's go and check. Just see how many of this wheat we have. Yeah, it's decent. Why haven't you planted there? Don't you tell me that you've got glitched. There's no way. I mean, it's nighttime. Maybe he just picked it up and then nighttime came. Let me go and have a sleep and we'll see if they start working again. Okay, cool. It looks like they are still doing their jobs. So almost 9 shulker boxes of wheat, and my seeds are maxed out. If I ever need them, maybe I can make a chicken farm. But yeah, they are working again now. You can see they're starting to plant new crops. So that is fantastic. They're still working, and after that amount of time, I highly doubt they're going to break. So now I think it's time to move on, and we'll do the potato farm next, and then we'll do 2 layers of the carrot farm. This is very quickly becoming a multiple day project to do this because of, obviously I have life stuff to do and just waiting for these villagers to breed up every time while I'm doing stuff. Luckily I've had a decent supply and it's been pretty consistent, but it's just a slow process, moving one in, putting him in position. You know, it's a bit slow, but at least it's not as bad as when I made the trading hall. That was very, very slow because obviously there were so many. Do I even have enough potatoes? Oh, I'm going to need to farm more potatoes. In fact, you know what? For the first time in probably 15 episodes, I'm going to head back to the original place that I started in because I'm pretty sure I still have some potatoes there. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Lovely. It's only 64. but once I use fortune on it, hopefully I should have enough. This poor zombie pigman has been sat here. Wait, he's got a crossbow. I didn't know they could get crossbows. Oh! Oh! Was that a piglin that converted? You know, the other thing I have here is a couple of villagers with trades. And I've got my pink sheep over here that I found. But don't worry, we'll be using that very soon. Oh, and the chicken farm. My goodness, how many eggs have I got in here? A decent. My original lightsaber. Oh my gosh. I need to find a spot for that. I have a spot. What am I doing? You know what? We're going to go put this where it deserves to be. Wow. The difference it makes. I forget that when I leave a farm AFK I turn off shaders just to save my PC, and when I turn it back on it looks amazing. So of course, where else are we going to put Kenobi's lightsaber other than in Kenobi's house? And I think this is the spot. This is where it's going to go. And there we go, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Master Saber in his house where it belongs. Bit of a weird side quest that, but that's what I wanted to do. I've been doing a lot of back and forth here, but I'm also kind of realizing that I don't leave these islands anymore. All of this stuff I'm building, I go and like, I'll get a few shulker boxes of sandstone, and that's about it. Everything else I just have available around here. It's really quite enjoyable. So obviously, a couple of episodes back, I mentioned that I was watching through all of the Clone Wars series. I did actually finish that, and now I've been watching through Rebels again, and the last time that I watched those, I kind of remember liking the Clone Wars a lot more. I enjoyed Rebels, but I just remember Clone Wars being better. But now that I'm watching it again, I'm starting to think, you know what? Clone Wars is really good, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying sometimes. You know, the amount of times the Jedi just unnecessarily lose a fight when they clearly should be just overpowering the enemy. And I understand it's like to create suspense and everything, but like Rebels I think does it really, really well, because when they come up against stormtroopers, like, they're a joke. It's not even... A Jedi is not going to struggle against a stormtrooper, right? There's no chance. But then when they face someone like an Inquisitor, because of their experience level... Like, don't get me wrong, if Anakin faced an Inquisitor, I would expect him to also thrash the Inquisitor. There's no way an Inquisitor standing a chance against Anakin. I mean, just to look at Darth Vader and how they're scared of him. But Kanan and Ezra are very inexperienced, you know. Kanan didn't have the training or the practice as an adult until obviously the series progresses, and Ezra is a brand new Padawan. It makes sense. So I think they do the power scaling quite well for the most part. I'm only a couple of series into it, but I obviously remember the last couple of series gets really quite good as well. And I think just from the storytelling perspective, it is actually better in my opinion. But I mean, they're both great, don't get me wrong. It's just that the Clone Wars has that bit more of a plot armor for the enemies type thing, where they should be getting absolutely destroyed, and they're just not. Yeah, it just gets annoying after 6 series. Yeah, don't get me wrong, all of the stuff that involves Count Dooku in Clone Wars makes absolute sense as well. He should be beating people like Anakin and Obi-Wan in general, because, you know, he's trained for that. His lightsaber is designed around combat with other lightsabers, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the scene that I could use as an example is the one where Obi-Wan is struggling on the bridge against a bunch of battle droids, and Anakin comes along and he just stands up. He's not trying to hide. He's not worried about them hitting him. He just stands there because he can dodge all of the shots. It just makes so much more sense from like the Jedi storytelling perspective that they are powerful like that. So why are they trying to dull that down every episode? I mean, it's the same problem most superhero things have, right? Like the Flash TV series. It was great, but at the same time, every single episode he forgets what happened last episode. He loses all of his ability to use his powers in any kind of meaningful way. And it just gets boring after a certain point, I think. And that is the potato farm, also finished up now. So that is 2 more to go, and these ones are a lot easier than the wheat farm in terms of resources and size. So just 2 more levels, I think. Maybe 3 if I'm feeling like I could do an extra one, or if there's space. and it's all hooked up to some chests down there, and then we'll have the carrot farm coming down this side as well. I am just laying down the carrots for the first level of the carrot farms, and I'm slightly concerned that it might be a bit tight, but it's fine. If I can't fit in 2, I can probably just cut off the corners and still fit in 2 layers, even if one is slightly less efficient. Having 2 of them should make it quick enough anyway. And there we go, all set up to bring in the farmer villagers to start this farm as well. Let's take a look at the potatoes while I've been doing all these other bits. Okay, yeah, it's starting to stock up now, and I might as well have another quick check of the wheat as well. Yeah, this is coming in very nicely. I'm very happy about that. Finally, this is the last villager to go in, and yeah, he did go in, thank you. There we go, just put that back, and now I just need to clear up all of the mess that I've made. I did manage to breed up the exact right amount, so I don't have any extra villagers now. So I have gathered up the resources to build the front gate, and I'm going to need to expand this out a little bit. And also another thing that I did is I actually decided to go and add some armor trims to myself, because now that Don Pebble has provided me with this new skin, I wanted it to just match up a little bit better. Instead of the purpley colour, I added some brown over it. I did use the rib armor trim because it just covers up the most space, and I figured that would probably look the best, and I think it looks okay. It's not an exact copy, but you can't really get a proper brown. So now I will be using Lightsaber to put this gate in, because I'm not really an expert at flying machines. I did get it to work, and I don't really want it to mess up in my real world, because breaking it down is going to be very annoying. I did already have to break and replace quite a few parts, and yeah, that was fine in creative, but in survival I can't be bothered with that, so I'm going to go with the Lightsaber. It's quite cool that you can move it around, but actually if I go into the free cam mode, you can see it's a lot easier to move it around, because you can position yourself and turn it around. And it's cool that it works during free cam. It's not something I expected, but it works, so that's pretty nice. Now I just need to try and line this up properly. Right, I don't know why there's some obsidian here. I don't think that should be there, but I'm going to have to jump over into a test world and just see if I can actually change that, because it doesn't look very good. So I want to see if I can put some sandstone there, and if it will still stop the machine. I don't want it breaking any of the redstone, of course. Wait, did that just give me the... I got the advancement, but I was just climbing up the scaffolding. What the heck? That's really confusing. I don't know why that's happened. But look, where is it? Yeah, jump into a honey block to break your fall. I was climbing up scaffolding. I wasn't falling. I wasn't jumping. That's really weird, but I'll take it. I was literally just thinking, I haven't got this advancement yet. Maybe I should just do it while I have the honey in my inventory. But, alright, I'll take it. And that is the gate for Jabba's palace finished up now. And we'll see how it opens. Click the button. It only goes up a few blocks because I don't want it to go out of view. And you can see I've got these slabs and trapdoors here, as well as some full blocks and slabs on the bottom. And these ones come up from pistons. And I did that to make it look like it kind of connects into the floor to lock in. And then you can see when it closes, those go down at the last minute. And it fully shuts nice and flush. And I am very, very happy with how this door came out. It's my first ever flying machine, so that went pretty well. The actual flying machine parts, like the sticky piston and the honey, is obviously a simple design, but I looked at that one online. The rest of it, obviously turning it on, activating it from up there, and activating this as well as the sticky pistons below, I did all of that work myself, and yeah, it was just really satisfying to do, and to see it working 100% of the time is very nice. But I'm aware that this episode has been very heavy on the farm building. It was a long time, it took me a while to build all of that, so I really wanted to get the proper proportions in for the time I spent building it. But now, let's do some of the proper building, and we're going to jump to a time lapse of building up the pillars for Jabba's palace. And just like that, we now have the towers set up, and there is only one thing left to do for the exterior of this build, which is the rock formations I mentioned. But we're going to leave those for a moment. We'll take a closer look, because for some reason, if you notice on this tower, you'll see the light on the left tower starts to change as I get closer. And I don't know why. It's really, really strange. See, look, it flips, but it's still the same sun. It just flips. I don't really understand why. I'm assuming it's just like an issue with the shaders or something. But yeah, so it's light on the front one, dark on the back one, and then it just swaps. Very odd. But also, I have been doing some AFKing around this area in between and while I was working, and you'll see now my crop supplies are getting absolutely stacked up. So the potatoes are, what, that's 14 double chests. I imagine the carrots are probably nearly full since it's twice as many layers. Have we reached this? We have. Oh, there we go. So only a few double chests worth of carrot space left, which means I basically never need to get those ever again. And then lastly, the wheat. And I also realized I made a miscalculation here. I said it's 9 times 3, which is 27, but it's not. It's 9 times 9. So there's actually 81 double chests worth of space for the hay, because you get 9 out of it, not 3. But there we go. So I'm on 2.5 double chests, which is a load. That is absolutely loads of hay, and I really don't need to worry about that anymore. And obviously we got the door in here. But there is an issue I'm facing, which hasn't been an issue for a very long time. And if you come down into this ship here, you'll see I have my valuables box in here, because I need the diamonds every time for making these armor stands and using these armor trims, and my diamond supply is getting a bit low. I mean, it's not too bad. Like, how many is that? 4.5 stacks. It's not that bad. It's not the end of the world, but it will run out with me doing all these armor stands. So now I'm going to go doing some mining, and typically most people, they would go and mine by going into the big caves, using moss on the floor to uncover some more blocks and get the diamonds that way. I'm not going to do that, because even though I don't need redstone, I've got a farm. I don't need iron, I've got a farm. I don't need gold, I've got a farm. I don't need lapis, I've got villagers to trade with. I do need deep slate and tough, and those are pretty annoying to get when you need it and you don't have it. I do have plenty at the moment, but if I'm going to get diamonds, I might as well just go strip mining and collect those as well. So let's just go grab some of that. And another thing that I'm going to need is more of the woods. So basically I'm just doing a bit of a restocking mission right now. I'll probably spend a day or two going through and collecting all of that up. Well, it finally happened. I made this base how long ago? And guess what? Not once did I ever use this water elevator. But somehow I ended up taking my rockets out of my inventory, and now I actually need to use it. This is the first time, so that's, I'm glad I put it in. I am very glad that I put this in. No! Well, that is enough diamond mining for me for today. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it, and to be honest, I have plenty now. I have absolutely plenty. I don't need any more for these armor trims for a while, but I know for sure as this series goes on, I am going to need lots and lots of diamonds for all of these armor stands, and it wasn't really a fun process. You might notice I did end up going into caves, because now I have like 4 shulker boxes of deep slate. I don't really need any more. And something else I did was that I mined up a bunch of wood. As you can see, I have a patch here. I just started using bone meal instead of actually going out to the forests to get it. I just thought that'd be quite a lot easier. But now it is time to move on and start working on the rock formations on the back here, so we can get the outside of Jabba's palace finished, and that way we'll be ready for next episode to actually build up a good interior in here, and I think there's going to be a lot of work to do in here on that as well. So I've been playing about with some settings. I was having a real difficult time making these rocks, and you can see here I've got the Axiom mod on because I just wanted to see like how it would look and get some ideas for shapes. Basically, I was really struggling to kind of get the formation that I wanted, and I think it looks really good, and I would love to use this, but I don't want to use the one that I made in Axiom, so I am going to go and redo this all kind of by hand. I like the idea for using the brown in the path, fading out into the sand as well, so that's probably something I'm going to add as well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing about with it. It's not something I want to use for my builds, like obviously Jabba's Palace and the boats and the Sarlacc, everything like these. I love making these by hand, but natural formations are not, they're not my thing, to be honest. So this was me getting some inspiration. But while I was doing this, I kind of I wanted to play about a bit more. I was enjoying the mod, and I just had a look, and I made this. So you can see I did start working on the Mustafar Island just out of curiosity more than anything, because I wanted to get an idea for the scale, and knowing that I'm really going to struggle to make something this large by hand. Yeah, I think it would be lovely to use this. I don't know if I should or not, and really, you know, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion, because this particular formation here, where obviously I'm going to build the base, the mining facility coming off of the side of this, what do you think? You know, is that a reasonable use of it? Now I am going to go and do these again myself by hand, because these are quite small. It was just the shape I was struggling with. But yeah, for this island, I mean, it looks fantastic. It looks so good, and once obviously I built up a base on there, it would look really, really nice. But yeah, I don't want to use it, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm capable of making this kind of shape.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
This was just a basic design, and yeah, it's already looking so cool though. I mean, when you look back and you see all of the islands together, I can just see it now. Once we have this last area finished and we got this finished up, this is going to be, you know, as most people would say, an amazing starter base. Don't get me wrong, this is not a starter base. This was like already a ridiculous starter base for me, this area. But yeah, I don't understand all these videos. Oh, starter base in Minecraft. No. The starter base is you go to a village and you put some chests in one of the village houses. That's a starter base. This is like your first decent base, and then this is where it gets into like, this is basically a mega base, even though it's a lot of individual builds. But this whole area, you know, is like my main farming islands. This is where it all begins, and having that kind of formation there, it looks so good in the back. And yeah, I would love to use something like that for the main portion. So this is the kind of method that I've come up with for doing it. I just made some pillars at the heights that I wanted, and I just kind of drew some circles around to allot some space. And to be honest, they're a lot lower than the ones I showed you previously, but I think I actually prefer it this way. It's less intrusive on the build, and I think I've done an alright job actually. There was a lot of just spam clicking, just clicking on random places to place blocks, and then just chucking a bunch of slabs down. Obviously I'll need to put some texturing in there. Probably go with the same kind of block palette of the terracotta on top. The only thing is I kind of wanted some rounded shapes on top, but I don't think they look very good in Minecraft, because from the images I've seen, anyone that has like these kind of rock formations next to it, it's not from the original film, but they had like almost stacked round rocks on top of each other, or just like curves in it from where the wind or sand had corroded it away. But I think it just looks better having these kind of little spikes and blending them into each other. And yeah, I'm really actually quite happy with how that's come out. Now I need to finish the back ones here and then put some texture on it. And I think now we'll just jump to the time lapse of me building these up in my survival world. So that is the outside of Jabba's palace completely finished up. And oh my goodness, I am so happy with how this whole thing came out. It was a lot of work, it was a big project, and to be honest, I was looking at it and thinking, it's kind of nearly the same size as the whole original first base. I mean, there is still one part left that needs to be done, which is the interior, but I really want to try and get that right. I know with most of the interiors, I've been going with like Minecrafty interiors, but for this one, I want to do the scenes inside, and there's definitely enough space for me to do it, and yeah, we can work something out with these chests. Maybe it's just a door to get into them, or maybe I move them down. We'll see how I go about it, but hopefully I can make this look really nice. And actually, saying that, there is one thing I wanted to do. I didn't like how this kind of connects here, so I'm just gonna try not to break my door, and it's all still working. Fantastic. And I don't have too many resources to put away as well. It's not often from a project that I don't have a lot to put away, so that's good news. But I don't know, this taking my time with this build, I really enjoyed it a lot more than some of the others. I mean, the Sandcrawler, for example, I think it's really good. I think that's really well done, but I did rush parts of it, and it became not enjoyable. But with this, I've been able to take, go to bed, take time off, and just try and focus on getting all these little details in, and I've got all the texture in around, and yeah, I hope this is a good sign of the builds to come. And as I showed earlier in the episode, that it's up to you guys. I don't mind trying to build that mountain here, but I think it would just look better if I used Axiom for the landscaping, and then I could do the lava pools and stuff myself. And obviously the base I'll be doing myself, which is quite a large build again. But this means next episode we will start off with the interior here, and I'll probably go and do some armor stands, because now it has been a little while since I've done some of those, and I've got a few ideas for what to do in there. And then we can move on to the final build for this island, which is going to take up all of this space, and I'm going to work on what I mentioned previously, which is connecting this part up to make it look a bit better. I know the wall for Watto's junkyard, it looks a bit strange right now with these kind of angles, but we'll see what I place in and how close I go to this and all that kind of stuff. And oh my goodness, there's another one of these guys. Make sure I got the head that time. Come back. So I think this one, we're going to put this inside the interior next episode, and we'll have that as part of the wall of bounties that Jabba has collected. And as you can imagine, there's some things we want to do there with the armor stands as well. Well, that will be all for... Oh my goodness, I'm just trying to record an outro and one spawns. What the heck? What? Oh my goodness. No. Give me the head. Oh, 2 llama heads as well. Unbelievable. I'm literally trying to record my outro and the one just spawns immediately after I've killed one. So now we have 4 heads for Jabba's room. I'm just going to put these here so I don't forget them. Well, that was a bit of a interesting end, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and that will be all for today. I have spoken.